Hi guys, this is K&M Garage here. So I'll be showing you today how to polish your yellowed headlights. Uh, it depends on how dirty is your headlight because some headlights are really yellow or like mine's they are still good to go, but it's always good to have it cleaned before they get really dirty and not able to emit any light. So these are the products and items I'll be using throughout the process. So to begin, we have some 400 grit sandpaper, then we have the 1500 followed by the 2000 grit. And remember, you can always use foam pads and a power drill, which can always help you and also speed up the work. But me, I'll be doing it with hand, so I'll be eventually sanding it with by hand manually. But you can always use a power drill. For the finishing, I'll be using Meguire's polishing compound, as well as the Pro Speed compound. Uh, the one on the right is a mild abrasive compared to the one on the left, which is of a professional grade product. So this actually cuts really deep, and it really smooths out the surface and it polishes out really well. I will leave a link below in the description of where you can get the different items here. You don't need all of them, but it always depends on how you want to polish your headlights. You can always opt to go manually or even use some power tools if you would like to. We will be using different sandpapers throughout the process. So to start off, we can always start with medium abrasive paper with the 1500. If your headlights are really dirty and they are really yellow, you could always go for the 400 grit. But always remember to use finer grades throughout in the later stage because you want to have the surface as smooth as possible, so your light emittance isn't affected. uh, and me, in my case, I'll be using some polishing compound to really make it smooth and crystal clear. I forgot to mention, get yourself some microfiber towel because you will need a lot of them, especially to wipe the headlights throughout the process. And also, you don't want to reuse the same one over and over because they tend to collect all other dirts and the gunk, and you don't want to stain your work, especially with the polishing compound and everything. So you don't want to leave any minor scratches or anything. So I'll be using only one or two, but I recommend you to go for multiple towel, at least three. The portable drill is very important here because we're gonna use it with the ultimate compound here with the cutting pad to help polish the sanding marks, so the surface is very smooth. And we're gonna use up pretty much everything here. And yeah, the goal here is to achieve the best gloss, maybe not the factory state, but something really appreciable. Glove for protection is important here, and also some water, to some soapy water solution, so we can soak the sandpaper in it, so the work is much easier, and also the sanding process will be easier to do. A dry microfiber towel is also necessary to wipe down things and also the surface while you're working. And a masking tape is also important to not scratch the paint on the body panels. So we'll start off by spraying some soapy water onto the headlight, and then slightly starting to sand the headlight. So we're gonna start with the horizontal movement. Then we're gonna go with the vertical movement, so we don't have anything. We have an even scratch, actually, an even uniform surface, and it will be also easier when it will be time to polish out everything with the compound later. So you're gonna sand it until you get a uniform sanding result, and also you have to be happy with your result. So that is very important here. Once you're done sanding with the 1500 grit, you're gonna move on with the 2000 grit, which is a lot more smoother, but you're gonna change the direction to a vertical direction. So the dirt and gunk has to be removed, but with the 2000 grit you're not going to remove a lot, because most of the gunk would have been removed with the 1500 grit. So first we're gonna start by soaking our sandpapers in some warm soapy water, and then we're gonna move on to spraying some soapy solution onto the headlight. Okay, now you're gonna start sanding it in a horizontal pattern. Yeah, and also make sure to cover every surface. So don't put pressure in a particular area and forget some other corners there. So yeah, so really make sure that you spread your sanding process throughout the entire surface of the headlight. Use your palm and fingers usually apply some more pressure with your palm, while you kind of spread your effort throughout a larger surface area. So I would recommend you to do both, but the thing here is really to have a uniform sanded surface. Now we're gonna move on with the 2000 grit here, but we're gonna change our sanding direction. So this time we will be sanding it vertically in order to remove the scratches that we left with the 1500 grit. The goal here is to really to make it smooth and prepare the surface to use another higher grit paper here. So a 3000 grit. It is not important, well, it could be important, or it you can also leave it out and move to the compounding process, but it always depends on how dirty and how deep are your scratches. Once you've done with the sanding process, make sure you use your towel to wipe down everything, so the surface is clean. You could always use some rubbing alcohol to remove any dust and debris, so the surface is really clean, so we can use the power drill with some polishing compound to improve our work. We're gonna continue our polishing process with compounding. So we're gonna get our power drill here with the foam pad and use our Meguire's ultimate compound. I'm gonna drip it at 3 places on the foam, and before turning on the drill, make sure to wipe the headlight surface with the foam pad. So this means you're spraying out the compound throughout the headlight surface, so this makes it easier for you to polish, and also to not apply too much pressure at one place in particular, because you have to pay attention at this, because you don't really want to burn out through the plastic, right? This is a plastic lens, and yeah, the risk here is really to not burn out the lens, because otherwise it will end up costing a lot more than just a bottle of Meguire's compound. Look at the results, guys. This is amazing. Look, we've gone from something really dirty and not really nice to look at to something that's looking almost brand new. And this is really good because, well, instead of replacing the headlight lenses, we've simply gone through some easy steps and we've achieved a result like never before. And okay, guys, after you've done all these steps, now it's time to protect your work because you don't want to have to redo all these in a very short period of time. So you want this to last, and the best you can do here is to really seal the surface now. Because don't forget, when your car was shipped and to the dealership, that the head lenses had a clear coat on it, but that was a factory coat, and that was good. But over time, that thing oxidizes, and it turns out to be really dirty. And now we've completely removed all that, and our surface is not protected. It's polished, it's crystal clear, but not protected, and you want to protect it. And I'm using something called here a jet seal. Jet seal is a sealant here, so it's like wax for the body panel, but jet seal is gonna seal out the headlight, and that's good for at least a year, and you want to repeat that over time, so you don't want to have to polish your headlight every time. Some people like to use clear coat, but I don't like to use clear coat because that thing leaves some orange peel, and you have to even polish the clear coat there. That's more work, and it's not really worth it. And I don't even like the result from applying clear coat. Look at that, guys. Wow, this shine. I cannot resist to this. This is looking brand new. We've gone from something that wasn't even appreciable to something that's looking brand new. The headlights, the car is looking really interesting now. Was looking really boring at the beginning, but now I'm tempted to take it for a spin.